and he forgets that like other people do have functioning eyeballs.
Hi, my name is Rafael and I'm 26 this year.
Hi, my name is Sophie. I am 25 this year, and we've been together for 3 years plus.
Hi, I'm Teresa. I'm 35 this year.
Hi, I'm Kathleen and I'm 30 this year
And we've been together.
for almost 2 years.
I'm Eric Ting, age 50 this year.
I'm Sharon Tan. I'm 49 this year.
We started dating in 2015, and we actually got married the following year.
I was the tail end of my NS in 2019, and before that I previously done like some sports announcing for like 2015 SEA Games. So like the same organizer was organizing the World Para Swim Series. So there I was announcing, your lane 1 representing who so and so. And then, so the DJ at the event actually said to me, "Hey, I know that girl," which was Sophie who was swimming. And then I was like, "Oh, okay, cool." And to me, like physically, she didn't have any disability. So I said, like, "What's her disability?" And he said she's blind. So I was quite impressed. I wondered how like she did it.
We met online on the dating app called Her. So it's quite specific to looking for
Queer people.
queer women and female identified people.
We met on online dating platform.
I actually unsubscribed, but the problem with such website is that once you subscribe, even if you unsubscribe it, they have your email address. They will keep throwing you a lot of like suggesting partner. So happened that I saw Eric's profile and picture, and I think to myself, charming.
My first impression of her, I think more not just her, but I think like visually impaired people in general is like actually okay lah, very independent, very strong. Like I come from a family of matriarchs, so the women in my family, they're really strong characters. Like same lah.
My first impression. Basically, the first thing I noticed that he was botak, which is fine. But he had a hell lot of mustache and beard, and he was like untrimmed and ungroomed. And it didn't help that I looked like a 17-year-old girl, like he said, or maybe then 15-year-old girl. And he looked like a 40-year-old uncle.
I mean, Teresa is quite a face, right, in Singapore. So the moment I saw her profile, I just swipe lah. And then see where it goes from there. So she actually swiped back. So that was when we started the conversation after that. Yeah.
I generally don't talk to people first on the app. So it takes a lot for me to initiate the first conversation. So for me, it usually ends at the mutual like, and then no one says anything. But for this time, like I felt an urge almost to want to start a conversation, just so I don't leave it hanging.
I went to pick him up for our very first date. Once I turned into the car park, and there was he sitting there folding his arm, and I was thinking to myself, damn, he's so fair, fairer than me. Oh, he's so tall. Oh, he's so charming.
Officially, I only had one relationship where we actually call each other boyfriend girlfriend, but it didn't last very long. In terms of getting to know guys and being in like long-term conversations with them, like talking to them for a long time and like possibly getting to a relationship, never really posed as an issue. Honestly, every single relationship that has ended in my past had nothing to do with because of my disability. It was a lot of other factors.
So I've dated a few people. My only serious relationship was quite toxic. But I've always enjoyed just being around people and meeting different people, because I do enjoy the different stories that we have, but also just being around queer people. I do enjoy that a lot.
I've dated a few, and it's always in the end is the parents that is the greatest obstacle. Society already, have certain prejudice against people with disability and all that.
Yeah,
No,
no.
not really. I think my
Yeah.
parents had a bit. My parents didn't have any reservation about her being visually impaired, but like
This before I met his parents.
yeah, before I met, so like you're gonna have to take care of her for the rest of the year. You are gonna have to take all the responsibility. If you have children next time, she can't help around. Then you have to do that. After they met her, they were telling her, "Are you sure you want to marry him? You have to take care of him next time. You have all this responsibility. He's very high maintenance."
And I do. He's a little boy. I didn't really see it as an issue that whether like, oh, can he accept me and stuff like, because I know it can be done.
For me, the main concern was actually how will she and her family react to someone who is a brown person. I think the other concern was whether we can actually have like open conversations about being in an interabled couple, whether this will be a very big obstacle in our relationship.
For me, my friends, I didn't even like mention that she was blind, because usually it's like, how do you meet? They ask like, how do you meet your girlfriend? I say like swimming competition. Then because usually my friends are like swimmers as well. Oh, she's a swimmer. I say yeah, she's still swimming for Singapore. Then they'll be like, oh, who? Because in their mind they know all the national athletes. Then I was like, oh yeah, her name is Sophie. Then there's like, there's no Sophie who's a swimmer, because para swimmer different. So I was like, oh no, she competes in para swimming. Then they're like, then that's where they're like, they hear para swimming, they know it's disability, but then they don't dare to ask. Then they just, oh.
For me, like there wasn't even a coming out conversation that happened. It was, we just decided to like upload a video and then that was it. So whether there were, I think there were a lot of like supportive people who saw the video and then they texted me afterwards.
When I told my family and all that about what she does, her background and all that, I think they are all very supportive.
My family actually they feel a bit worried for him. My own mom, every time sees him, Daddy, Zhiqiang, she got bully you or not? Tell me if she it's like, wow, what kind of, are you sure you're my mom? What will I do?
When we go to the movies, so she can go to the movies because she still has some vision, and because cones pick up light when it's in a darker setting, she can see better with her peripheral vision, the rods lah. But I always have to like tell her what's on screen. Like, if there are
Certain
words
scenes
on screen, I know they flash back, then I have to tell her, oh no, this is happening in another time. Yeah, last time I do that to my friends. So then my friends like, shut up.
Like the best part, he does it at home with his sister too. Like they'll be watching something, then he'll start explaining it. And then his sister will like, right, can you shut up? You have to see everything that's happening. And he forgets that like other people do have functioning eyeballs.
Well, I shifted into her house. So there was a huge change and I apparently adopted her cat.
That's only cause they love you more. Okay. When it's slowly kind of moving everything into my place and spending more time together, I think for me it was also at the back of my mind, being mindful that her family still isn't aware entirely, Yeah. So I did want to make sure that she's comfortable doing it lah.
I used to be a person that I don't need to make any plans or decision. I feel like I have time and I have money, I'll go for a steamboat now, I go now. But ever since I'm with him, my life is no longer my life, because I cannot do things according to what I want, but according to what we have to do.
Perhaps at the start of the relationship, Teresa wasn't a very confrontational person. So when we needed to address certain topics, she would just like shut down. And I think over time, we actually found a way to balance talking about different topics, difficult topics especially. At the end of the day, we try to iron out as many things as possible before going to bed at night. Yeah.
Physically, I think I'm catching up my age, and now that we don't have domestic helper, I feel worried, like what if I fall sick and who is going to take care of him? First thing, this is one of my concerns. The other concern which I'm not upset with him, but I am upset with the society, especially when we need to go to places or travel. Are we able to enter the toilet? Is he able to get up the bed? Will there be curb or stairs for him to, unable to move to certain places?
It's difficult.
If they do, I don't care. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I don't really
Yeah, people
care.
think it's difficult. Oh, you
Some
must be
people think
such a
it's
challenge. I
difficult, yeah.
was like, nah, it's pretty easy.
That the able-bodied person has to always be the caretaker. They also tend to have the assumption, especially when someone is on a wheelchair, that they're completely useless. I've had people ask me as well, are you in this relationship because you feel bad for Teresa? So I was surprised that people would actually think of that.
There's a lot of things with disability that people don't even ask about, whether you have desire or sexual intimacy or romance, or that kind of things are not even choices for us sometimes. They think
We have a friend, a mutual friend, that actually she asked me, said, will Eric die young because of his current situation? I said, he's disabled, he's not cancerous, he will not die young.
Relationship is a commitment. For Interabled, definitely there is it's a bigger commitment. It's not that our relationship is abnormal or whatever, but it's something special, and it takes someone special also, someone with empathy and not sympathy, empathy.
Keep your opinions to yourself, I guess.
I mean, they want to say out loud, it makes no difference.
Yeah, it makes no
Like
difference
they
to
can,
us.
like anyone can come and tell you, like, I think you should break up with him now. Oh, okay. It really makes absolutely no difference, because my concern always is him, his family, my family.
Yeah, who's to say? I don't think Interabled relationships are any different, because every relationship is special.
just go and do it.
Yeah, I would say just go with the flow.
Yeah.
I think a lot of times, initially when we were together as well, we had a lot of questions which were great, but I think it kind of caused us to overthink. So I think, if you're unsure, you just check with each other and then adapt. I think adaptability is probably the key word for me, and perhaps for us as well. That anywhere we go, we just have to adapt and then laugh it off. Even if it's like embarrassing or difficult, you just laugh it off.
Also, when it comes to an ever-changing landscape, right, of identities, whether it's queer, gender, I think sometimes people do get confused, and I think maybe they're just uncomfortable with the idea of change. Some people have different choices or preferences. Then just why can't we just live peacefully with each other?
What's more important is that you have conversations about people with disability in general.
It's important that even though we normalize it, we don't go to the extent of erasure.
Something that we want to break down is the taboo and the how people view disability. And I think it's once we're able to knock down that barrier that people have about disability, interabled relationships is not something that's like, wow, like so cool and interesting, but it's something that is a norm, because that is what we want disability to be viewed as. Not saying a norm that it's good to be disabled, but in the sense that it is not a taboo, it is not bad to be seen as disabled. And whether you date another person with disability or not, it does not make a difference, because you're just a couple, that's it.
Thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a comment down below.
Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.
Bye.